Good evening and welcome to another session of Montgomery Heart and Wellness. And we're going to talk about detox. And we're going to break down detox. Often we get lots of questions about, what's the mechanism of detox? What's the process by which we detox? What are the details of the diet? And we talk about patients who come to our center in clinical rounds and say someone has congestive heart failure, someone else has diabetes, or someone has obesity, or a combination of things. And we talk about the detox regimen. And what I want to do is give you a breakdown. Often we don't have time to go into the details of that during clinical rounds. So I'm going to give you the basic aspects of detox. And at the end, if you stick with us, I'm going to give you some practical tips that you can take home so you can start a proper detox if you so desire. So let's go to our lovely PowerPoints, and we're going to talk about the breakdown of detox from soup to nuts. So we want to start with the basic definition. What is detox? People talk about that definition. Detox, nutritional detox is a term that's thrown around a lot. But what does it mean to detox? Well, first and foremost, we have to understand how the body works. The body has the ability to break down digested nutrients. And so whatever we ingest, these things are broken down. And so nutrients that we bring into our system have chemicals that are not warranted. That may be medications we bring in. That may be foods that have bacteria or other chemical preservatives that are not necessary for the body. So the body has to separate those nutrients, and it has to remove them because they may be potentially harmful. So detoxification is a very basic process by which the body naturally removes toxins from the system. It's a process that goes on continually. It happens, while we're sleeping. In fact, it probably happens more often while we're sleeping than when we're awake, and certainly more often while we're fasting than we're eating. Different organ systems, the GI system, the skin, pulmonary system, urinary system, they all participate in the process of eliminating toxins. So in the setting of a chronic illness, detoxification is a process of removing excess toxins that have built up in the body. So when we become chronically ill, the underlying mechanism, or one of the major underlying mechanisms of chronic illness, is the buildup of toxin. We talked about this before, the concept of increased oxidative stress. Inflammation is also a component of that, and also a disrupted microbiome. But buildup of toxins is a key part of that. And so when we detox, we want to remove these excess toxins. So this allows the body to always heal. It allows it to heal organs and organ systems. And so it's the mechanism by which the body maintains itself, or in some cases, repair itself. So detoxification is a natural process, and it's essentially what the body does. Now, when we go on a detox, what is that we're doing that's detoxing? Well, the key part of detoxing is to reduce, or in some cases, to remove the ingestion of toxins. So if you remove the ingestion of toxins, then you allow the body to catch up on removing excess toxins. The reason we have chronic illness is because we consume toxins excessively. What are these toxins? Alcohol, soft drinks, hamburgers, French fries, donuts, all sorts of toxic substances that we're ingesting have more chemicals in it that the body doesn't need than they have chemicals that the body does need. So we're ingesting these toxins at such a high rate, the body cannot rid itself of these toxins. So what happens? It has to store the toxin, has to compartmentalize the toxin. That's why we get swollen. That's why we build up fat cells, because we have to store toxins in the fat cells. And so the body, as a temporizing measure, when we ingest excess toxins more faster than we can remove these toxins, then what the body does is that it has to compartmentalize these toxins, because these toxins cannot exist inside healthy cells. These toxins has to be inside special cells like fat cells. It has to be between cells. We call it interstitial space, with fluid collection. So that's why we get swollen. That's why we get fat, and so on. It gets into the skin. That's why you get, chronic skin condition, thickening of the skin, abnormal wrinkling of the skin. So this buildup of toxins is the process by which we get chronic illness. So when we detox, we simply remove toxin, or I should say, we simply remove the ingestion of toxins. So what does that mean? Well, it could be something as simple as complete fasting. We take nothing in at all. We don't drink, we don't eat, etc. Well, we all do that to some extent when we're asleep. Unless you eat or drink while you sleep, and there's some rare situations where people do that, you're completely fasting while you sleep. That's one of the reasons why sleep is important. We may go on what's called a water feast, where we're only drinking water, and people can do that for a certain period of time. I've done water feasts for about 6.5 days. Some people have done it even longer. You can go on what's called a juice feast, where you consume only cold pressed juice. Now, I say juice, I don't mean the pasteurized, sugary added juice. You get juice that's cold pressed from healthy greens, healthy plant foods, fruits, veggies, and the like. And you only consume juice. I've done that up to 101 days. Smoothie feasting. We've had our heart failure patients consume only smoothies. Complete raw plant food consumption. You only eat completely raw plant foods not heated above, say, 100, 130, 140 degrees. You may consume a mixture of raw and cooked plant foods. So you remove all animal proteins, and you also make sure these plant foods are minimally processed. They're not fried, they're not microwaved, etc. So that could be a level of detox. So there are different levels of detox. And as you can see, they start very aggressively, and they can be mild. And you can choose which one is best for you, depending on your health needs, your familiarity with it, your level of illness, etc. What is our approach to detox? Well, we take an approach to detox where we evaluate the patient's health condition. Oftentimes, we'll use a more aggressive approach to detox if the person's sicker and they need to recover more rapidly. We may use an intermediate detox approach where someone's not as sick. So, for example, we utilize a food classification system because that gives us a precise way of saying how we detox. There's one thing to say raw, cooked, etc., but how is the food prepared? How is it cooked? Is it fried, etc.? So this food classification system uses a 0 to 10 food level system. The lower the number, the healthier, more effective the food at helping you detox. So if you start at level 0 is liquefied raw plant foods. And this food classification system is outlined in my book, The Food Prescription for Better Health. It's in some of our publications. Level 1 to 3 is solid raw plant foods. Level 4 has 3 subclassifications, has 4A, which is high-fat raw foods, like eat raw avocados or raw seeds, some raw nuts. They're still raw, but they're high-fat content. So we give them a little bit higher classification than level 3, but they're still, it can be in the detox regimen. Dehydrated foods. So they're foods that are warmed up to maybe 110, 120 degrees. That helps you recreate the texture of breads or wraps or chips without losing the enzyme. But what you do lose is the water. So we move that up in the classification system because it's not as healthy as something where the water remains. And then, of course, 4C is when you start to begin to add heat to the food. You may get something frozen and thawed in warm water or slightly blanched. That's a 4C. Not very much heat, but a little bit of heat that's added to the food. Level 5 are cooked plant foods, steamed for less than for 4 minutes or less, boil for 10 minutes or less. The longer you cook foods, the more nutrients you may need. Level 6, boiled and steamed longer. Now, I'm going to group level 7 through 10. These are the zones that we tell people to avoid. They include animal protein of any kind, processed foods. So you can have something that's vegan, but it can be fried. It can be fried okra or fried whatever. If it's microwave, it's in that level. So however you process food, overly chemicalized foods, foods that are grown in chemically dangerous areas that are sprayed will be in this level. So the food classification system utilizes a more precise approach to determining what level of health the food is. Now, we combine various levels of detox according to the patient needs. So we may have someone who's doing a juice feast, and we may mix it with water feasting. Or they may be doing a raw food feast with intermittent fasting. So intermittent fasting, we increase the fasting window, so you have a complete fasting period that's longer than when you're sleeping. And we may have 2 days where you're doing a complete water feast, and 5 days you're doing juice feast, or 5 days raw solid foods, 2 day water feast. So we combine these in different ways. Sometimes some individuals will be on raw plus cooked foods. And so there's a combination of things that we use in our patients, and we apply them according to the needs. So when you see us talking about patients and clinical rounds, the reason we won't give you a simple recipe is because we're applying the different approaches and the different recipes that apply. So why do we remove animal protein? So let's look at the science. So the science of consuming some of the biochemical effects, I should say, of consuming animal protein is that there's certain biochemical aspects of animal protein. Endotoxins, for example, can lead to the progression of clot formation. That is an oxidative process of oxidating LDL cholesterol molecules that make them toxic, excess fatty molecules. And most of us don't eat meat raw. Most of the people who eat meat don't eat it raw. I don't eat it at all. And so it's cooked. And so the cooking process creates a toxic effect, increases certain enzymatic pathways like renin-angiotensin, which increases blood pressure, increases vascular constriction, which decreases circulation. Trimethylamine oxide can lead to heart attack, to heart failure. So the number of biochemical aspects of the consumption of animal foods that's been shown that makes it harmful. So that's why we remove animal protein. There are lots of people who promote the carnivore diet who comment on our channel, and of course everyone's welcome to comment. And they say, well, these people need meat or butter, etc. And I just asked to show the data, not just show an anecdote where somebody, lost weight following the carnivore diet or had a low A1C, but show data across a group of people with critical illnesses, advanced heart disease, etc., who got better on a carnivore diet. I think you'd be hard pressed to do that. So what is our published data? So we have science behind what we do. And I think it's important for you to realize that, because we don't just, prescribe these nutritional plans without having any evidence. And we've shown the evidence. We've shown how defined plant-based diet using this food classification system results in a reduction of lipoprotein(a). We were the first ever to show reduction of LP(a) using diet in the medical literature. We showed a 16% reduction. All these changes, by the way, happened in 4 weeks. ApoB, an atherogenic molecule, reduced by 11%, APO1 by 14%, and the ratio of ApoB to APO1 reduces, which is important. The ratio reduction is important. We show reduction in inflammation, the C-reactive protein, by over 30%. And we've been showing this for more than 2 decades. We published it in the last 6 to 7 years. IL-6 is reduced. So one of the cytokines that triggers inflammation is reduced by 23%. Total white blood count is reduced. Now notice they're starting from what looks like a normal white blood count goes down. Oftentimes individuals who have a white blood count that's 7 or 8,000, they say, oh, white blood count's normal, because normal's up to 10.5. Well, that white count of 7 or 8, maybe even 6 may not be normal. You may have underlying inflammation. And we saw these individuals with underlying inflammation, that inflammation reduced and white blood counts were reduced. So you can have normal white count that's really pathological. And here shows a comparison reduction of LP(a), 16% total cholesterol, LDL. All these atherogenic molecules and lipid panels are reduced in just 4 weeks on our defined plant-based diet. So what are some practical tips that you can take home and utilize for detoxification. I mean, oftentimes individuals ask for recipes. One thing you can do is go to our website, and we have MontgomeryHeart.com. You go to the website, and the link is in the description below, and look for Jumpstart. That Jumpstart gives you a quick start in terms of how to do detox. I'll walk you through a 10-day detox. There's a 10-day meal plan. There's the recipes. So it has everything you need, including a series of videos of me coaching you along the way to get started. So those of you who are not familiar with a raw plant-based detox, you can go to that. You can also get my book, The Food Prescription for Better Health, which you saw images of earlier. That's on Amazon. And so there's a link to that. Should be a link to that in the description as well. So the key part is getting started, however you do it. Come up with a game plan. Don't just start without thinking it through. Read some things, read through the information we have, read my book, get you some knowledge on what detox is. Think about what it encompasses, get your mind ready psychologically, and then say mark a time on the calendar. When you say from this point forward, the next, say, 15, 20, 30 days, I would try to do it more than 15 days at least, or at least 15 days or more, because the first week you're going to have detox reaction, you won't feel so good. So you want to give yourself time beyond that when you start to feel some of the benefits of it. And I encourage you to do 30 days if you're able to. But getting started is a key. And if you do one detox and you go 20 days, you may struggle through it. It's a start. Even if you revert back to eating some of your old bad things, you know how it feels, you know how to get started, and you plan another detox. But we encourage our patients to do. They do series of detox, and we have them between detox. We have them eat what's called a maintenance level. They eat cooked plant foods. And once you've done a detox about 30 days, your taste buds start to change. And eating a healthier diet that's not as aggressive as detox becomes much easier because you've had an improvement or change in your taste buds. You need to consider your baseline health condition. Many of you are on lots of medications. You have, severe health issues. If you're in this situation, you want to consult your physician before you do a detox, and go to someone who's familiar with detox as well as familiar with your medications, because this is something that will help you in terms of getting started. Because if you're on lots of medication, you may have to wean these medications while you're undergoing the detox. And of course, create a long-term strategy. Aspects of creating a long-term strategy is, collecting books, but connecting with people who are already in this space, people who are in the health space. Many people know neighbors who are already eating a healthy plant-based diet, who've done detox before. Connect with those people, get into communities. Montgomery Heart and Wellness, we have a community. You go to MontgomeryHeartandWellness.com/join. You can join our community from anywhere on the globe. And that gets you connected with individuals who are conscious about their health and who utilize nutrition in the right way. So these are some practical tips. I hope this underlying scientific background gives you the insight that you need, that's going to help you have a successful detox journey. This is a very, very important approach to take for improving your health, and we've used it in patients who are on life support. I've used it in patients who just want to come in and lose a few pounds. I've used nutritional detox on patients who are giving up on with heart failure, who are giving up for terminal illness, and we've had patients come and succeed with the detox. So I'm glad that you do this. I want to give a special thanks to Lovely Cherokee for the super sticker. Thank you, Lovely Cherokee. And thanks to all of you in the chat. And of course, thanks to all of you who signed in today. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, and share. And if you haven't done so, go to our website and check out some of the information there. There's lots of educational information on the website. And lastly, if you haven't had the chance to buy my book and read it, do so. The Food Prescription for Better Health. You'll get lots of information from that. So until next time, you take care and look forward to